What is up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. I hope you all had a really good weekend and you are ready to learn something because we're about to get into it. This week, we are talking about World War II. If you didn't check out the video from last week on In Between Wars, go ahead and check that out before you proceed to this one because we won't really be recapping that much. So check that out first. So today we are talking about the rise of total dictators and what actually led to World War II. So let's get into it. After World War I, many nations struggled to rebuild, especially Germany and Italy. They were not having a good time. A global depression in the 1930s led to a huge amount of unemployment and a sense of desperation in Europe. The Treaty of Versailles created a huge amount of bitterness among many of the nations in Europe. Right, so let's get into it. In the climate of post-war uncertainty, nationalism increased and citizens turned to totalitarian dictators to rule the nations. Totalitarian leaders are dictators who controlled all the aspects of government and the lives of the citizens. Totalitarian leaders gained support by promoting jobs, promoting nationalism, and using propaganda. Dictators held onto their power by using censorship, secret police, denying liberties, eliminating opponents as rivals, and eliminating other political parties. We learned about this a little bit when we talked about our revolution in Russia, but Stalin was among the first totalitarian dictators. Stalin was communist, and he seized power of farms, he seized power of factories in order to control the economy and to gain equality among the people. He used a secret police and the Great Purge to eliminate rivals. But not all totalitarian dictators were communist. In Italy, Germany, and Spain, people turned to an extremely nationalist government called fascism. Fascist governments were controlled by dictators who demanded loyalty from citizens. Fascists did not offer democracy and used one party to rule all nations. Unlike communists, fascists believed people would keep their own property. Stalin was communist and believed that government should be controlled and all business and property. But Mussolini and Hitler believed in fascism, which we just talked about, or the idea that nations needed strong dictators, total authority by one party, but to keep private property. In some ways, fascism was similar to communism. Both systems were ruled by dictators and allowed for their own political parties. Both denied individual rights, and in both states were supreme. Neither practiced any kind of democracy. However, unlike communists, fascism did not seek to have a classless society. Rather, they believed that each class had a place and a function. In most cases, fascist parties were made up of aristocrats, industrialists, war veterans, and lower middle class. Also, fascists were nationalists and communists were internationalists. This means that communists wanted to unite workers worldwide. In Italy, Mussolini formed the Fascist Party. Mussolini gained popularity by promoting to revive the economy, rebuild the military, and expand Italy into creating a new Roman Empire. The Nazis were a fascist group in Germany that wanted to overthrow the government at the time. Adolf Hitler was an early Nazi recruit and quickly rose to power in the party. The Nazis created their own militia called the Brown Shirts. In Italy, it was the Black Shirts, and it was kind of funny that they named them the Brown Shirts, kind of ripped that off from them. Hitler planned a march on Munich, but he was arrested and jailed for 9 months. Hitler was impressed by Mussolini and used many of his ideas to make the Nazi party strong in Germany. While in jail, Hitler wrote Mein Kampf, which outlined his plan for Germany. He wrote that Germans were members of a master race called Aryan, and all non-Aryans were inferior. He declared that Germans needed Lebensraum, or living space, and should conquer Eastern Europe and Russia. When Hitler was released from jail in 1924, he spent years organizing the Nazis into Germany's most powerful political party. In 1933, Hitler was named Chancellor or Prime Minister of Germany. He was actually elected by the people, and then later on, he actually named himself dictator. He called his government the Third Reich. He created a protection squad called the SS and a secret police called the Gestapo. Hitler put Germans to work by building factories, highways, weapons, and increasing military. In 1935, Hitler began a series of anti-Semitic laws called the Nuremberg Laws. Anti-Semitic means they were anti-Jewish. German Jews were deprived of their rights as citizens, and mixed Jewish marriages were banned, and it required all Jewish people to wear a gold star on their chest. In 1938, Hitler ordered Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass, a series of attacks on synagogues and businesses for the Jews. So you can see that in the upper left-hand corner in that picture. Those are all of the places that they attacked. Last but not least, we have Japan. So after World War I, Japan was one of the strongest nations in Asia, and it was ready to conquer new lands to provide resources for Japanese industry. Emperor Hirohito gave full control of the Japanese military to Hideki Tojo, who served as a military dictator. In 1930s, Japan, Italy, and Germany began to aggressively expand into the new territory. These actions caused World War II in 1939. Italy invaded Ethiopia and Albania. Japan invaded Manchuria, which is northern China, and invaded Indochina and the East Indies. Germany is going to annex Austria and Czechoslovakia, and that is going to lead to World War II. So today I want you to do a comparison for me in the box that I provided that says answer this question. I want you to compare fascism, communism, and democracy. So that's what I want you to do for your homework. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one.